your first time in Dallas, correct?
Yes, first time in Dallas.
Awesome. Amazing. So I'm so glad that you're here. We're just going to talk about, like, get to know Catherine just from literally day one, from the day you were born.
Nice.
So kind of tell me about your childhood and, you know, how you grew up and, like, what your parents are like. Do you have any siblings? Just, you know, touch on that.
So I do have a little brother. He's 7 years younger than me. So, yeah, I grew up basically playing a lot of sports. My parents, my mom used to play a lot of tennis when she was younger. When I was younger. So, like, I would go to her practices. She would play with my cousin. And then when I was 4, I was like, one day I went to one of her practices and I said, oh, this looks fun. I would love to, like, try it. Or she could tell, like, I wanted to grab a racket and just kind of, like, swing. So she got me into tennis lessons. My dad is a big hockey fan, baseball fan, and he also plays a little bit of tennis. So he was all for tennis. He was like, yeah, sure, we can, you know, have Catherine go and just play some tennis. And I started playing tennis. Then he actually said, oh, I think you should try baseball. I think I show some interest in baseball because I don't know if you've ever heard of the Montreal Expos.
Maybe. I've heard
So they
some.
used to exist. Now they're like the Washington, oh my gosh, I can't remember, but they're basically a team, the Nationals, Washington Nationals. Yeah, that was like maybe years and years ago when I was younger. We had season tickets.
Oh wow,
to go watch them play. So I showed interest also in baseball. So I was playing tennis and baseball growing up. And at the age of like 12, 13, I had to decide what I wanted to kind of focus on. And I decided to focus on tennis. That was for high school. I was also a skier. So I was like, it was crazy. I was super busy. Yeah. I would go from like playing a tennis tournament to playing a baseball tournament. Sometimes we had like a baseball tournament and a tennis tournament the same weekend. It's kind of like maybe 30 minutes away from each other. So I would go join my baseball team. And then maybe later on I had a tennis match. It was crazy. I was like always playing sports. And then on the weekends during the winter, I would go ski and take some lessons. So anyways, I had to kind of focus on one sports just because it was too much otherwise as I was growing older, getting older. So they said, okay, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to focus on skiing or tennis or your baseball? And I said, I think I want to focus on tennis because I just knew I had more opportunities going
potential,
with, Exactly, potential with tennis and going to a D1 school eventually. So I focused on tennis. And then when I was 16 years old, I came here into the United States. I didn't want to come.
Really?
Yeah, so my parents were a little bit, I don't want to say pushy, but kind of. They were like, okay, I think that would be awesome. You know, you can go to the United States and play for free because it's scholarship. Play for a D1.
You say 16?
16. So the way it works in Quebec, you don't have a 12th grade. It's like completely different. It doesn't work like 1 through 12. It's like basically 1 through 6, and then it's like called something different. So basically, you don't have like this way, like the United States way. It's like you don't have a 12th grade. So after my 11th grade, my senior year, I was 16 and I moved here to Arkansas, where I played tennis in Arkansas for a year. Didn't have a great year, meaning my head coach was kind of rude, very mean. So I was like not very happy there. And I decided to transfer at Michigan State, where I played 3 more years there. You can only compete for 4 years. You're only eligible to compete for 4 years. So my 5th year, that's when Simone Jardim, who was my head coach at the time.
I still think that's crazy.
And it was
what
so
a
crazy.
Small world that is. Yeah.
She had just started playing pickleball my senior year. And after my senior year, she could tell that I was kind of sad on the sideline. My 5th year, I was still in school, but not competing. I couldn't compete anymore. So I would just go and watch Athena play.
And how old were you at that time?
At that time, I was like 20, about 20. So it's, pretty young for my age. Yeah. I mean, for my, you know what I mean, for being, I guess, college almost years. Graduating. So I was kind of sad on the sideline. I was just helping out the team during practices, just like to hit with the girls if they needed me. So one day she asked me, she was like, Catherine, do you want to go and, try to play pickleball. I've tried pickleball and it's a lot of fun. There are a few tournaments now and then, maybe a few tournaments in Michigan that you can go and play. And I was like, oh, that sounds fun, but what's pickleball?
Yeah.
When she told me pickleball, I was like, why would I try pickleball?
Right,
that's such a weird name, So I was like, I'm good. I'm not going to play pickleball. I'm not going to try it now. And she kind of kept begging me, you should just try it. And then 3 weeks later, I tried it and just fell in love with it. I was like, this is fun. And scoring was hard for me at first.
Yeah.
I'm sure for most people, that's the hard kind of part of pickleball.
Yeah.
And then, I just started like getting, I went there. I remember I got a membership at a, I wouldn't say a country club, but it was like an athletic club in the area because it was like around October, November. And so I got a membership there and just started playing basically almost every day in a league. And
Oh, wow.
Then that was October 2015. And in April 2017, I just decided to fly down to Naples to play in the U.S. Open because that was one of the biggest tournament.
Yeah.
And that was just what totally got me hooked on the sport for sure.
Definitely. I love kind of looking at and seeing, people like Ben or Riley or Irina post like throwback photos of you guys of like when you first started. So those tournaments, like, can you kind of explain, they weren't like any part of like an association. It was just local rec tournaments.
Yeah, it was.
Did you travel to those or like how did you guys all get together? Because you look at it now, it's just like, oh, they're all a part of the PPA now. Like what a coincidence because, the PPA wasn't a thing back then. Right. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it was kind of like just their own, let's say like you and I wanted to start a tournament and back 8 years ago, then let's call it Tournament of Champions or, a random name.
Yeah.
Then it's kind of like what people did. There were 3 big tournaments, Nationals, U.S. Open, and Tournament of Champions.
Oh, wow.
So they were like, one was in April, one TOC was in August, and Nationals was towards the end of the year, like November, December. And it was just kind of like their own company, kind of like doing their own tournament, run their own tournament.
That's crazy.
And winning, like their prize money was maybe $200 or maybe $500.
Wow, that's
$500.
crazy.
I mean, maybe I'm exaggerating. I can't remember, but it was like super, super little.
Yeah.
The prize money if you would win a tournament.
Especially when you like doing what you're doing now and traveling, like thinking about that now, isn't that crazy? Like how much, not even just like the expenses towards traveling, but being that committed to pickleball, being like, yeah, I'm going to go this far for like $200, $500 prize money. And just like seeing the growth of not only the tournaments, but like y'all as like a whole group. Just seeing those photos of you guys always cracks me up because you guys look so cute. You're just like, hey, and like it's just the partnerships and like seeing how much that's like grown is insane. I bet even in your perspective, I mean, I'm looking at it from an outside perspective being like, wow, that's nuts. But like from you, I bet that's insane.
It was crazy. Yeah. I mean, I was just doing for fun. Back then it was just a hobby. There's a big tournament, U.S. Open. I wasn't not thinking about prize money. I just wanted to compete and see how I was going to be, compare myself to other players maybe that are traveling from Colorado or some Canadian people. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, I guess I'm pretty good at it. Yeah. That was like maybe 8 years ago. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I should try to go to Tournament of Champions since that's another one. And so the way that happened, I believe I was playing with a paddle during the U.S. Open, and they had like the vendor, the vendor.
The like booths.
The boots, they had vendor boots. They had like paddle tech boots. They had maybe Engage, Pro Light back then. They were big, and I was kind of like. They were all there, like the sponsors. They were there, like the owners of each companies. They were there,
wow. That's
and then
so crazy
because I did well in the tournament, they came up to me, or I went up to their booth and I was like, oh, I would love to, just talking about their paddles. And then I believe Paddle Tech had given me like one of their newest paddle, and I was so happy. I was like, oh my god, I have a new paddle. So I didn't have to buy it. This is cool. And eventually, Pro Light reached out to me, and I remember like it was a little contract just to play like 3 big tournaments. I had like a very little stipend for travel expenses.
Oh, wow.
And they would cover my tournament fees. And then the rest I was like on my own. you know?
Wow.
So it was like just for like 3 tournaments per year. That's how little my contract was.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to pay for 3 tournaments and you have a stipend for every tournament. And then we cover your tournament fees. And we're giving you a few paddles now and then. Which now to think about, it's crazy. That was like a big deal for me when I first started.
The moment where you were just like, okay, I kind of want to do this for a living, or was there something else that added to that?
Well, back then I felt like I couldn't really rely on doing that for a living because it was, you know, every tournament I would travel to, TOC, Nationals or US Open, I would lose money, right? Coming back. And unless I was doing very, very well, like 3 Triple Crown in all 3 events, which back then I was probably like getting 4th or 3rd in women's doubles, same thing mix, and then singles was not that good yet. So it was hard like to get some good money from traveling to tournaments. So back then I was like, no, this is just still a hobby, but it's cool that they're paying me just to go play a hobby, right? Play pickleball.
Seriously.
And I was like, yeah, I mean, that was 8 years ago. It's just crazy because that was just a hobby. It was just for fun.
Yeah.
And I was still in school doing my 5th year, my extra year in school. And then I was like, oh, maybe I'm going to be a sports psychologist. I would love to stay in sports. And while I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, kind of after we eventually graduated, Athena and I, we moved to Miami for like 2 years, a year or 2 years. And I was actually working as a tennis instructor in a country club in Fort Lauderdale. And then eventually I was able to kind of get clients on the side to teach them how to play pickleball.
Oh, nice.
And but I was still sometimes, you know, traveling to different tournaments until the PPA came into place in 2020. And I was like, oh, wow, this is maybe when I don't have to work, you know, anymore in a country club. And not at first, for sure, because you know, the appearance fee was not high enough for the sponsorship. You know, it was not there yet for me to just say, oh, I'm going to quit my job and just go right into full-time pickleball as a pickleball player. So, yeah, it's come a long way. It's crazy.
That's awesome. And I saw that you used to play with and against Athena.
Yes.
When was the moment where she kind of like took a step back and was like, all right, Catherine, like this is your thing. You go for it.
I remember exactly when that happened. I can't remember what year. I want to say 2021. That was probably the year after COVID. We were playing a tournament. I was playing with Callie Smith and she was playing with Vivian David in a tournament. And the way it worked, I believe it was 2 different pools is that how you say it? Pools?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Pools of four different teams. And the best 2 teams were going to come out and play in a bracket.
Okay, So
it happened that we were in the same pool that weekend. So we had to play each other. And when Callie and we played her and Vivian David, I want to say it was pickleball, World Pickleball in 2021, January 2021. We had to play each other and she beat me. Her and Vivian.
Wow.
So that was a little spicy. So she felt horrible because we lost to Vivian and her. Yeah. We almost didn't make it out of the pool. And she knows how much I'm very competitive. She is too. She's very competitive.
But you never trash talk though. You say you're competitive. I can imagine you just like going at it, but you're just very composed. So
thank you.
Yeah, that's good.
That's a nice
great.
compliment. Yeah, I'm very, 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 very competitive. And when that happened, she felt really bad because she's more like, oh, I'm just doing that for fun. You know, this is something we can do together. And but then she realized that, okay, well, maybe I'm kind of affecting Catherine's career, you know, by doing something like that. Like, oh, well, I'm beating her with Vivian. That's not very good for her brand. Personally. So yeah, we almost didn't come out. I don't know what happened that we came out. We went out of the pool. Yeah. But but yeah, that was like, I think that's when she was like, okay, this is not really fun for me anymore. I don't want to kind of hurt Catherine's performance. And then it was just very hard for us because Athena was playing women's doubles with Vivian. I was playing with Callie. And it's like, it's so hard to we want to help each other, but we can't because we're almost distracted because we want to see how she's doing. And so it was kind of like too much. And she's like, you know what? I don't love pickleball as much as you do. Yeah. Maybe I should just take a step, you know, step away from it a little bit and maybe just focus on you a little bit more because you love it so much. Yeah, she was kind of just doing it just the real reason why she started playing is because I was begging her. Like, I was like, you know,
like, I brought her into it. I'm taking her out of it.
I was kind of begging her because I was always kind of out of the podium. Like I was saying, when I first started playing in the bigger events, US Open, Nationals, and TOC, I was like 4th. And like, I was like, oh, I really want to get on the podium.
Yeah.
Athena, you should come and play. Like, I think I need a good women's doubles because we were.
And you can rely on her.
Exactly.
Course. Yeah.
And like, we can practice together.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay, fine. So she got into it because of me. I kind of pushed her a little bit. And then eventually she was like, you know what, I think this is more for you, Catherine, and maybe I can do something that's more kind of on the outside, the background of things. And
so you have such a good team. Kind of explain, you know, you, Athena, Connor. So how did Connor get in the picture?
Yeah.
And can I just say, if your name is Connor, please don't come into our lives because we have 4 Connors. I was talking about this to Connor Gurnett. I was like, we have Parenteau, Ogden, Connor Gurnett, and then you're Connor.
Derrickson, yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I was like, so many Connors.
So as the sport, you know, was growing in 2021, that happened with Athena. I was like, oh, I'm just going to focus on we're going to focus on your brand and just kind of see what we can do. Maybe we can focus on growing with like doing clinics at different tournaments, after different tournaments, and just kind of grow your brand that way. And I believe that was around the time that we both stopped working in country clubs. I think it was more in like end of 2021. So it's been like 2 or 3 years that we're full time into just basically living pickleball and not teaching in country clubs like we used to. So what was your question again?
So how Connor like got into like how you met him, how he got into your team.
Yeah,
team
so
CP.
He actually got into our team back in November. I want to say November 2022.
Oh wow, okay.
So it's been almost a year now. And the reason why is because I was always in the gym, but I didn't really know what to do in order for me to like really improve on the pickleball courts, you know, lateral movement. I didn't really know what I was doing. And I felt like I was not very motivated myself. Like it was hard for me to go to the gym and just kind of do my own program, which I don't even know if my program was good for pickleball. And
I barely go to the gym. I'm never there. I'm just like, when you say that, I'm like, yeah, let me go to the gym. And then I show up and I'm like,
all right, I'm good. You get to go.
Yeah, I'm like watching people. I'm like, okay, well, I'll see what you're doing. Just walk on the treadmill for 45 minutes. Woo!
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's awesome.
Yeah, that used to be me. I was
Yeah.
like, I go in the gym and it's like, okay, what do I do now? Yeah, of course, I had some experience from college, being on a team and kind of doing lifting weights together. But still, that was like few years past.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I'm not really sure what's more. You know, I need to focus on things for me to improve on court. I want to be quicker, stronger. And so, yeah, that kind of happened in November. And we were also thinking, you know, if I want to play pickleball for a long time, I need to take care of my body. So we just thought it was a good time to kind of reach out to trainers. We reached out to a trainer that we knew in the area of Fort Myers. We now live in Naples, Florida. So we knew of a trainer. Somebody recommended us to a trainer in Fort Myers that knew pickleball. And when we called him, he said, oh, I don't think I would be able to work remotely, which was kind of huge for us because, I mean, we're always on the road, so it's kind of hard to have a trainer always face-to-face or one-on-one. And he's like, but I know this guy, Connor, he lives in St. Petersburg, and you should reach out to him. I think he knows a little bit about pickleball. So we called him, and I think like that weekend, maybe the next weekend, he drove down to Naples. We had a talk in our condo in Naples, and we just went over, you know, what a schedule looks like. Yeah. And he was like, yeah, I'm really into it. I would love to help you out. And now I get to do like everything on my phone. I have the program, like doesn't matter, like this morning before I came in here, I had to go work out. And then I just follow his program. That's amazing. It's just made for me. It's personalized. So
it's nice because it's not only does he work with you, but he also grew his brand as well. Does he work with Selkirk as well? Or?
So he's sponsored.
Oh, wow.
So like,
that's amazing.
I believe he has to do like a few videos, like working out videos, maybe a couple times a month. Yeah. And he collabs with Selkirk.
Oh,
and
wow.
Then
that's a great, like, mutual beneficial relationship that, like, it's not only benefits you, but it benefits him as well, especially with his, like, outreach. And does he work with any other players?
Yeah, so he works with Travis.
Okay, nice.
Renmeyer.
Yeah.
Good. And Federico, and I'm not sure how to say his last name. Saxrud. Yeah,
I think it's
he works with them. It's a little easier for him because Travis is in St. Pete.
Oh yeah.
So it's like they can actually when he's home, they can just do their workout in his backyard basically. But yeah.
Nice. Yeah, because I've heard Travis talk about it, and I'm just like, oh, like I didn't know that y'all work together. Talk about your Selkirk and Skechers sponsorship. Just how'd that come about, and how you're doing so far. Obviously, woo, going well.
Nice. Pinkies.
Yeah, pink. They're so cool. I love them. I just bought the red pair.
Oh yes.
Yes.
You like them?
It. Oh yeah.
You have the red over here too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, on the toe cap. Nice.
Yeah. It was like the white and then the red and then the. It's on a little bit on the tongue as well.
Yes, on the tongue,
I love the Skechers. They're so comfortable.
I love them
always
too.
Wear them. I have the blue and the red ones now.
The blue, nice.
Yeah.
So Skechers came in the picture not this past April, but April 2021, right? Because we're in April 2021, playing in the U.S. Open. Mm-hmm. They were one of the biggest sponsors there, and they asked the tournament directors, and they said, we're looking to spend a little bit of money on players. We would love to sponsor 2 players, one male, one female. Okay. And they reach out to the tournament directors, and they were like, "Oh, we think that maybe Tyson and Catherine would be a good fit for your brand." Mm-hmm. I think back then they reached out to more players because they didn't really know what they wanted to do. Maybe focus more on 2 players, or focus on maybe giving free pair of shoes to different kind of players, at all levels and pro or maybe 4 or 5s or So they weren't sure what they were gonna do, and then I remember I got a DM on Instagram, like right after the U.S. Open, and I had just won it, so it was a good timing. And I got the DM, and I was like, Skechers, like
wait, is this fake?
Like, is that real? Like. And so I read it out loud, to Athena. I was like, wow, they just reach out and they're like, just want to talk and see, what are, I guess, just see if we will be a good fit for the company. And it kind of started back then. Like at first, in April 2021, they were not sure, like I was saying, like they were not sure what they were going to do. But then a couple months like flew, like maybe May, June, July. I didn't really hear back from them. They were still trying to figure it out. So I was like really bummed. I was like, oh, shoot, maybe they're not,
they're not interested.
They're not just gonna be, they're not interested in me. Maybe they move on to another player. So I was like really bummed. But then again, I think by the end of 2021, they were like, all right, Catherine, we're really ready. If you're ready. I was like, oh yeah, I would love to. So they sent me some prototypes, shoes that I tried on, and I love them. They're super comfortable. They have really good lateral support. I mean, it's so important for pickleball. Because you're moving so much laterally.
I love the bottoms are probably my favorite.
Yes,
I love these,
and they last forever. Little CP. But they last forever. They are so, and you can see how kind of big it is. My favorite part about the shoes is how light they are. They're super light, and I think that's so important. I don't know, I move like a crazy lady sometimes, and I do all sort of things on court, but no, they last me forever. And the only the only thing sometimes that happens to my shoe is just this
Scuffs.
part, but still I asked them, I was like, would it be possible to reinforce this? I'm not so sure what it's called, but here, just like because material. I slide so much. And they were like, so they were super supportive, super open to, I guess, to know what they could do to make the shoe better. And,
so did you kind of take part in the design of it? You did?
And that was so much fun for like Tyson and I. We love doing that. We actually had this pink shoe, which in my opinion is like probably the cutest pair they've made. They actually came out. They made it themselves and just kind of sent us like, it was like a surprise almost. Like we didn't know it was for October. Actually, for the cancer awareness. October. And when we got them in the mail, I was like, oh my God, they're so cute. And so we didn't design them, but oh my gosh, I love them. We love to match, Tyson and I, when we can.
I know. I remember asking you, you were like, he's the one that picks all of our outfits when we, that's so funny. I know. I'm bummed that they're not going to release these though.
I know.
Are they waiting until October or?
We've been trying, like Tyson and I, we've been pushing. We're like, people have been asking us. Yes.
They would do so well.
Yeah. So maybe.
Yeah, hopefully.
And Selkirk came That was at the end of 2022. Just actually, I started in January playing with Selkirk. I always love their marketing. They are everywhere.
Their media team.
Oh my gosh, the media is awesome.
So cool. I love the guys that come to the tournaments. They're amazing.
The Barnes brothers are awesome.
Yes, I met them in Utah at Red Rock.
Really?
Yes.
Yes. Oh yeah. In March or April. Right.
Yeah.
I always I think it's probably the best paddle, one of the best paddles company on the market, and I was just so excited that they were interested in sponsoring me, and I tried their paddles, and I was like, wow, I think this would be a great fit for me. And
which one's your favorite paddle?
The Power Air.
Yeah.
I think the design is so cool too.
Yeah.
Like it's so unique. At first, when they first came out, I was like, this is strange.
Like
a hole in the paddle,
yeah,
right?
Seriously.
So different.
Yeah.
No, but I just love the design. There's plenty of grit on it. It's very powerful. That's something I was looking to add into my game. I was known for more of a defensive player. And then I was like, I would love to add more, offense into my game. And I feel like this is just the perfect paddle for me now. I feel like I can generate enough power while still kind of being able to control my soft game.
Yeah. Do you weigh your paddle?
Yep.
Let's see.
So I don't know if you can tell.
Right here?
Yep.
Yeah, why do you put it here?
So this is like their Selkirk lead tape.
Okay.
There. Actually, nice. I think I have one layer of lead tape all the way around.
Oh, yeah. I kind of see
it,
yeah. And then you have a little one right here.
And then I cut it just to put, the fact that I put it on the side, kind of there, is just to expand the sweet spot of the paddle.
Oh, that's interesting.
It just helps.
Take notes, peeps. Be like Catherine Parenteau. So how does that expand the sweet spot?
Yeah, just by having more weight on the side, just kind of like helps. I guess if you mishit your shot a little bit more closer to the side of your paddle, you still manage to find the sweet spot, to find the control
that's really
of the
interesting.
ball.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, let's see if I can.
There's different ways to put it, but that just works best for me, just on the side.
I'm never going to be able to. There we go.
There you go.
That's so awesome. I mean, every time I think of Skechers and Selkirk, I think of you. So, like, I think their marketing is amazing. And I was actually talking to James the other day because in Seattle, the Selkirk team reached out to me and they were like, hey, I want to talk to you about the Big Papa Jimmy interview.
Oh, yeah.
February. What a month. And that was the first time that I was the pro player liaison for you guys. So,
really?
Yes.
When they said that?
Yes. So when in Minnesota, that was the first time I kind of did the pro player liaison. Yeah.
Yes.
So
we had just
I did that.
You.
Yes. I just met you guys. And then Hannah wasn't there. And because a bunch of people were missing their flights because of the snow. And they were like asking me to do the interview. And like, what a tournament that was. Meeting all y'all for the first time, doing that interview. And so in Seattle, they were like, just tell me about what happened. So Selkirk interviewed me about it, me and James, so maybe they'll come out soon. I don't know, but I'm looking forward because they made it kind of like an office thing, and they were just like, tell me about what happened. I remember that so vividly because we were talking about it. You were like, yeah, he picked me up, and I kept tapping him to put me down.
I was like, okay, James.
And you were like, stop. That was so funny.
James is such a funny guy. Oh my God, he's so different. I love him.
Gosh.
I just love the way... it's so fun. His interviews are just funny. You're going to get something like, it's just
because everyone's like, what's he going to say? Yeah.
It's so interesting. You're actually pay attention to what he's saying.
I know. Or even know what he's saying at all. I feel like half the time he just spews and then he's like, all right, I'm done. And we're just like, okay, whatever.
I think it's coming out actually soon.
Really?
Because they spoke to me, Selkirk, we were doing, I think they're working on like, basically doing a few like episodes of like what happened throughout the year or like with me and Tyson when we both won Triple Crown. So I think they're gonna come out with like a docu-series.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you might be in it with James on James' side. Nice.
That's exciting. That's so exciting. Because I feel like we always work together, but it's just not, I've never worked with like,
another,
Selkirk.
That's
so
sweet.
It's fun. But speaking of Utah, so that was your first Triple Crown, right?
Second ever, but
really?
First of the
year.
year.
What was the first one?
The first one was in North Carolina.
Oh, was it what year?
In last year, 2022.
Last year? Oh, nice.
But it was I guess I played 2 matches. I played mixed and women's doubles. And then women's singles, Leah had to pull out. So she had to withdraw. So it was kind of like, I guess the real one was this year. Yeah.
So tell me about that. I mean, what an accomplishment that was, especially it was like you and Tyson, like you and your partner and Selkirk, like both Selkirk sponsors, both Skechers sponsors. Like, that's nuts.
It was crazy. Yeah. To me, like, you know, I took the 2 months off in the summer. I just wanted to disconnect a little bit from pickleball and just, you know, take some time off, visit my family, visit Athena's side of the family a little bit more, and kind of refocus on training hard, going back in the workout gym and just like, you know, maybe lift a little heavier than usual. And going into TOC, I just had no expectations. The reason why I played TOC, I was like, oh, I need a warm up before Kansas City, because Kansas City was a 1,500 maybe points. So it's worth a little bit more than the other tournaments. It's not a major, but kind of, I guess it's a major before the Grand Slams, right?
It's like, I think, it's a major.
Second,
and then
like,
it was called WCS or something. And then I think that would be, and then we just were at a Grand Slam.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was like kind of like leading
in between
to
a PPA and a Grand Slam. Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I really want to play TOC because the following weekend it's Kansas City and it's a more important tournament and I'm playing with Tyson and Annalise, so it would be like a great warm-up. So when I got there, I was just had no expectations. Actually, on Thursday, I had like really intense matches in singles. I almost lost to Yana. She was playing amazing. I had been watching her all summer and like, oh, you know, when I saw her on my side, I was like, oh, that's going to be tough. And then in mixed doubles, we had tough matches too. I mean, we barely won in the quarterfinals, I think, against Jay and Callie. And then on that Saturday, I played with Paris Todd, and I was supposed to play with Etta Wright that weekend. And then, so a bunch of things happened. It was just so...
No, I remember. Right before, we were like, oh, crap.
Yes. Like, I don't have a partner. I need to find a partner last minute. So I was just, I don't know, so lucky at the same time. I mean, I was just... No, I'm just so happy I was able to win.
Did you like call Paris? Like, how'd that go down?
Yeah, so I was like, okay, let me go through the list. And then like all the girls, I think a lot of girls ended up playing the tournament, TOC. And at first I didn't think that many players were going to go because they were talking about just skipping TOC and go right into Kansas City. But a lot of players decided to come last minute. And so I was going through the list and I was like, okay, well, I cannot ask, you know, Indra Coop, who's maybe my MLP partner this second season. So I was like, no, she's got a partner. That's not going to work. Let's see who I've played with in the past. And I was like, oh, Paris, since she plays mostly on the APP Tour.
Because you played in Atlanta with her.
And we got a bronze medal. So I was like, well, that would be a good... That'll be a good pairing. You know, let's try again. Let's see how that goes. So I texted her. She was playing at APP at the time, like on that Sunday. She was playing in the championship Sunday. So she didn't answer me right away. So maybe I waited like 3-4 hours. No answer. And I was like, okay, I really need an answer because like the PPA, they want me like to basically come up with a final decision, right? Because otherwise you're not in the draw. So I said, like, Paris, you have to give me an answer.
You're like just
let me know. It's okay if you don't want to play. Just at least like give me an answer. And she's like, okay, let's go. Let's win this.
Wow.
So she like,
dang,
I loved it.
That's
like
clutch.
Her answer was like, let's win this. And she was like, no, she was super pumped. And she was like, okay, I'm coming on Wednesday night. I'm going to hit on Thursday and then we can play. I believe Friday was women's doubles. Yes. Yeah. Because it's a little different.
Wait.
Right? Championship Saturday at TOC.
Oh, yeah. I was like, wait. Yeah.
So she came, she booked a flight last minute and then came on Wednesday night. And then she played a little bit on Thursday. And then on Friday, we almost lost first round to Vivian Glossman and Susanna Barr.
Oh, wow. I think I remember hearing about that. We were like, whoa.
I don't think they had a match point. Maybe they did. No, I don't think so. But we were super close to losing. So, you know, it was just crazy to me that I ended up getting Triple Crown and I was just so happy. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. It's a little confidence boost.
You're like, maybe I should
take
breaks more often. Right?
No, but it for sure helps to kind of just, you know, sometimes you're so caught up. I'm very hard on myself. So sometimes just playing a lot of tournaments back to back, it's like, well, you know, maybe I need a break and just to reset my mind and then try again in 2 months or a month and a half later and just see how that goes. And then finish stronger. Yeah.
Seriously. That was amazing. I remember just like kind of being with you. And I think you were like almost shocked because it didn't really hit you. You just sat down for the press conference. You're like, yeah, I just won a triple crown. I'd be like, I just won a triple crown. Like,
Yeah,
you
I
were
was
so calm
shocked.
about it.
It's true.
Yeah, I think it didn't hit you though, because you were
No.
just sitting down. You're like, yeah, I'm like really grateful. And I was like, you just won a triple crown. You're like, yeah, this is great.
That's so true I remember that. And I wasn't shocked.
Yeah.
And I was tired after that Sunday. I was like,
can imagine.
I haven't like played 3 finals.
Yeah.
I had in San Clemente, I played 3 finals, but that was like my first tournament back in the high altitude. I think I was exhausted. And I was like, yeah, I'm pretty grateful.
You're just like, see you at the next one. I was like, what?
No, I was very happy.
Yeah.
We didn't get to celebrate right away, but then we did after Kansas City after the tournament.
Yeah.
And that was amazing.
So-
Looking back,
yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
I
think it's still hitting you now.
Yeah, it is, and it's crazy because then it's hard sometimes to kind of celebrate or think about it because you have a tournament right the following weekend.
Yeah,
so it's
100%.
almost as if I was trying to like, okay, well, I got the triple crown, great.
Yeah.
But now let's focus on the
You're like,
next
that's
tournament.
old news, but
No, but yeah, that was crazy.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna talk about some random stuff. So when are you planning on getting married?
July 10.
Let me see it.
2024.
Oh yeah. Zoom in on that if you can.
July 10, 2024. So
That's
that's coming up pretty soon.
Are you
10
excited?
months.
How is like, your crazy pickleball life and like wedding planning? How are you doing that?
It's actually pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yes. Actually, on the way here to the office this morning, we had a phone call with Athena's side of the family, like her mom's side of the family, with her aunt. And then we're just talking about like, we're just trying to figure everything out because we don't want to be last minute when it
Yeah.
comes to a wedding.
Yeah.
You don't want it to be as, super stressed
Yeah,
stressed by
100%.
the time you get married.
Yeah, you don't want it to like throw together. You're like, here you go, getting hitched.
Yeah, right. So we try to focus more when we have some time off for
Yeah.
sure. Because if we try to do it as we're like traveling to a tournament or right before a tournament, right after a tournament, that just doesn't go well with me. I'm
Yeah.
a pretty anxious person. So if I have to deal it in the middle of a tournament, that's not good.
Yeah,
So
no.
we make sure that like we have plenty of time. Like this
Yeah.
weekend, we have a weekend off. We're going to Miami. That's where Athena's side of the family is.
Are you getting married in Florida?
No, in Los Cabos.
Oh,
in Mexico.
Nice. That's exciting.
So we're super excited.
Oh,
We've
wow.
been there before and we fell in love with that place.
Yeah.
And
Are you
super
gonna do
excited.
like a beach
Yes,
or
beach
really?
wedding. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm
Love
excited to
the
see
beach,
photos.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Are you gonna take her last name? Like, how is that gonna work? Are you gonna like
That's a good
hyphenate
question.
it? Oh, you don't know yet?
Don't know yet.
wow.
I think we want to, for the public, it's probably going to be Catherine Parenteau just because that's how people know me, the CP.
CP, yeah.
But we don't know yet. Maybe I'll keep my last name. Maybe I'll become a Catherine Trio. But there's also a Catherine Trio.
Oh, really?
And she has a sister that's named Catherine Trio.
Wow.
So that's funny. We're going to have two of us until
Yeah.
she marries someone.
Yeah, right.
But we haven't really talked about it yet. So we'll see what we're going to do with that.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah,
Like,
super excited.
Yeah, geez. I couldn't even imagine with your crazy life. Just like, you're like, oh, on top of that, I'm getting married, just casual.
We do have a lot of help from her family members and my
Good.
family. So
Good.
So we're in good hands.
Yeah, that's
it's
awesome.
Just, if we do it just in the middle of a tournament, it's just a little tough
So
sometimes.
how did she propose?
So
I saw the post on social media, but I don't know the story behind it.
Yeah, so we kind of always do a little trip at the end of the year to kind of celebrate, everything that happened over the year and just my pickleball career or what happened, like just celebrate everything, what's going well.
Like
and,
to another year.
or not even like celebrate, just some time off, right? To disconnect from pickleball and disconnect from everything. Just know, I remember we went to maybe not this past year, 2022 and 2021, we went to Cabo right after maybe a Vegas tournament, a PPA.
Okay.
We went to Cabo and we just said, okay, no phone for like 5 days.
Yeah.
We're just gonna read books, spend time together, go to the beach, go to the pool. And that was amazing. Like that's like the most, like that was probably one of the only time I was really able to kind of really disconnect, from everything and not stress about anything too much. back then we were like dealing with Skechers, like the contract. I remember.
Yeah.
So it was a good timing. Okay, 5 days. We're not gonna be available for 5 days, but after we'll take care of things. So last year we did the same thing. We planned a trip to Vail, Colorado for 4 days, 4 or 5 days. She knows I love winter. Athena does not like snow.
Really?
So I mean, I should have clicked in my head. That's like, okay, maybe we're going, in the snow.
Yeah.
Maybe she's gonna propose or something.
Yeah.
We had to talk about it. I had started making jokes, like, showing her like, I wonder what I would look like with a ring on.
You're just like saying like at enter for a night, you're like,
right.
This is the kind of cut I want.
So we had like maybe, spoken about it, just like fun jokes, little jokes on the side. And so during Vail, we flew there maybe on the 21st of December. We got there and in the snow, Athena doesn't like it so much, but we had like, fully winter jackets.
I can imagine her just
like,
being miserable.
I remember like in Vegas, she was so miserable.
That's so funny.
But in Vegas, she kept saying like, maybe you should do your nails, or like, because by the end of the tournaments, sometimes my nails are all messed up just from like falling or God knows what happens. And she was like, maybe you should do your nails because they were like a little bit
chipped.
Chipped, exactly.
Yeah.
And there was something else, maybe like my hair or something, or no, she was like, let's go to the outlets and buy 2 like nice outfits for vacation. And I kept saying, why?
Yeah.
Like, why? She was like, I don't know, like it would be nice to look good on vacation. I was like, okay, you're right.
Yeah.
But, okay, why not? So we got there on the 21st of December. We flew from Vegas. Actually, we went to Selkirk. We did like a very quick 1-day turnaround. Selkirk is like in Idaho. We went there for like a day, just did a few videos because I was going to be, that was like in the middle of kind of like me being
like transitioning
exactly to Selkirk.
Oh, nice.
So they wanted to do like a few videos of me kind of basically with a Selkirk paddle. Yeah. And so we flew from Idaho to Colorado. We got there, and then the next day we decided to go on top of the mountain. I don't know what it's called. It's a weird, what is it called? Like the things that you take from like the bottom of the ski mountain.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Gondolas?
Gondola. I don't know. I'm acting like I know. A gondola?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, okay.
And so we got to the lady like where we can purchase tickets, and it was maybe 3 p.m. and it closes at 3:30. Like 4 p.m. It closes at 4. So basically, she was kind of like discouraging us to not go on top of the mountain because it was a little late. For me, like it was like, oh, we're gonna go on top of the mountain just to see the beautiful view. Yeah. Maybe go eat, have a drink or so, and maybe go eat some good food on top of the mountain with a nice view. Yeah. So the lady kept like kind of discouraging Athena. Like Athena was like, no, it's okay. Like we're probably just gonna spend 45 minutes up there. Yeah. We just want to see.
Athena's like probably freaking out. She's like, yes, no, we have to do this.
Because she had hired a I always have a hard time saying a photographer. Photographer. Whatever, you got it. And she was already on top of the mountain.
Oh shoot!
So it was already all planned. Like for 3:30. That's when we were gonna.
Probably like freaking out.
She was really upset with the little lady, because the lady
She's
was
like, "Come on, lady, saying, I gotta go."
And for me, I didn't know. I was like, "Yeah, Athena, let's just come back tomorrow. Like it's okay. We're here for 4 days. Like we have plenty of time." Yeah. And eventually, Athena was like, "Okay." It's okay. We'll just go up and down very quickly. I was like, okay, fine. Yeah. So the lady was like, okay, it's up to you guys. Yeah. She was like, okay. So we get up there, and there's kind of a nice. It's like you have the view of the mountain. Let's say this way, that way, and then on the other side, like the ski mountain where like people actually go down the mountain, and then on the other side you cannot go down. It's just more like it's just like you're on top of the mountain, but you don't have any ski trails slope. Or like slope. Exactly. Yeah. Like you cannot really ski there. Yeah. Like you're not allowed to.
Just like woods and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, okay. So there was like a really nice, how do you call it? Like oh my gosh. Like if you go out like a balcony-ish, but not a balcony.
Kind of like a
nice little area. Yeah. Where you can just see the beautiful view.
Oh, okay. Like an outlook.
Exactly.
Okay,
exactly. And we had to actually cross like a ski slope. Like,
oh, wow.
So you had to be careful because they were like kind of going down the mountain. And I was like, well, I thought we were going to go eat.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, no, let's go see the nice view.
You're like, I'm hungry, man. Come on.
Yeah, it's like 4 p.m., you know, a little snack or something.
Yeah.
So she's like, no, let's go to that place. Like, let's go see the view. I'm like, that's weird.
Yeah.
But, you know, didn't put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
And so we cross the little, you know, just we have to be careful because the skiers are coming down, but not a big deal. Then we go on that little, like, it kind of looks like a balcony, but like just a nice area that kind of does an overlook of the mountains. And at one point she's like, can I hold your hands? I'm like, hold my hands? And I'm like, I'm very like curious and I kind of like impatient in a way. So I need to know like, okay, what's happening?
Going
like,
on?
Why do you want to hold my hands in public? And like, why are you doing this? And she's like, Catherine, trust me. Just hold my hands.
Chill.
Like, so I'm like, are you about to propose? I said that.
No.
And she was like, Catherine, just let me like, because she had a whole speech.
Oh,
like she had
okay.
I mean, actually, I don't think she even like, she's just very good at speeches. And so she had already came up with something that she was going to tell me. And so I kept like saying, are you proposing to me? Like maybe 2 seconds into the speech. And she's like, Catherine.
So she's like, shut up.
So, exactly. So at one point, I like we're holding hands and she's like, you know, doing her speech. And I remember my heart was racing. And then I looked to my right and I'm like, why is she taking like pictures? I mean, I didn't say that out loud, you know, but I was like, why is this lady looking at us?
That's
and like
so
some
funny.
skiers were coming down and like staring at us. I had told Athena, like, if it ever happened that you were gonna propose or you know something like that, like I don't want it to be like
in
so
front
everybody
of,
like looks at you. But that was perfect. Like nobody
Yeah.
was really looking. It was just whoever she hired to take pictures.
Nice. I can imagine like the pictures of you just be like, who is that? That's so funny.
So yeah, she did the whole speech and then we were so happy. I was shocked. I didn't expect it to be, you know, at that time. I realized when she was like, okay, let's hold my hands. And then I was like, hold your hands. And then I was like, oh, okay.
You're
it's
like,
happening.
okay.
It's happening. No, but that was December 21st. Yeah, 21st of last year. And
Nice.
I was super, super happy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's all I have for you really, but
Cool.
yeah, thank you for sitting down with me and kind of like getting to know you. I love talking with you. We always chit chat.
Yes,
I think it's so
I
great.
always love it too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you so much.